Mom, Dad, you guys must be wondering why I've gathered you here today. Don't worry, Mom, it's nothing bad. I'm just here to help you guys really understand how to be a good communicator from what I've learned in my communications class this semester. Today you'll learn that there's more to communication than just asking Dad where he wants to go eat for dinner. So have you guys ever wondered about the main themes of my communications class this semester? Who am I kidding? Of course you have. Lucky for you guys, I thought you might. And I'm actually here to help you out. So first things first, you have to be able to talk to yourself. If you guys can't talk to yourselves, then how do you expect to talk to other people? Exactly, you can't. Mom, I know you can relate to this. Just the other day, I was in one of my classes, which how do I say this nicely, don't enjoy going to. In this class, I'd recently gotten an exam back that I wasn't really happy with, and I decided to see this professor after a class who I don't really enjoy seeing. So as I was asking him what my paper lacked, he yawned, and the little voice that lives in our mind just went off immediately. My thoughts were just how rude this professor was and how I should say something. Well, my thoughts took over, and I immediately asked him what was wrong. He gave me an explanation that I would expect like a politician to give me, like, oh, you did really well, but you just need to do a little better next time. Like, thanks for the answer. Although I didn't really get an answer, I learned the importance of expressing your thoughts to communicate with others. So, Mom, I know you like to keep your thoughts to yourself, but this habit can easily be changed. Even without practicing, you guys can develop communication skills through the process of trial, error, and observation. We all learn from our own successes and failures, as well as observing others, which brings us to our second theme of the class. How does anyone learn anything in life? That's a rhetorical question, Dad. Calm down. The answer to this question is simple. Through practice, practice, and practice. How do babies learn to walk, for instance? They get up and they fall down. Time after time, babies will try to stand up and fall right down. One day, after countless times, they will finally get it and start walking. Failures are necessary in developing any skill, including walking. What about when I first learned how to ride a bike, Mom and Dad? I remember the first time you took the training wheels off my bike and let me go by myself, and I fell right on my side. Thanks again for that. I thought it would never come to me, but eventually it came, and now it's second nature. This directly relates to being a well-rounded communicator because no matter how many times you fail, you have to keep trying. You guys remember that change project I was telling you so much about, right? Well, in case you forgot, it was that 8-week project that was devised to improve my overall listening skills in class and apply to my life. Well, it turns out that through the 8 weeks of the project, my life really changed for the better. Through trial and error, I learned that my failures just made me stronger and improved my skills for the next time. The goal of my project, as you know, was to improve my listening skills by not using my cell phone. I was able to self-monitor myself pretty efficiently by paying close attention to my behaviors and using these observations to learn from my faults and change my old habits for good. It was hard at first, but eventually it just came easier and easier, and just as I did, you guys can learn to be competent communicators in no time. During my change project, there were definitely times where I was so bored in class that I had to use my cell phone, but I tried my best to limit these. When this happened, I always recorded it in my journal, but I learned that old habits always repeat themselves, and there's really nothing you could do about it but staying committed to the relationship. I counted this habit most of the time by getting more focused in class and on the lecture and engaging myself in the class and writing notes. I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, if you repeated some old habits during your project, then it's not good. False. You have to fail in order to develop any skill. Through trial and error, I was able to correct my faults and actually succeed in changing my old habits for good. You guys will start to notice it at home more often too, I guarantee it. I will pay more attention and listen with more understanding. Dad, remember all those times at the dinner table when you told me to put my phone away because it was rude or some other stupid reason? Or Mom, that other time where I couldn't stop playing that dumb iPhone game when you were trying to talk to me? Don't worry, you don't have to worry about that stuff ever again. I've learned through the change project and through my failures that developing a skill simply takes practice. This proves an excellent point and actually transitions into our next theme of the class. That communication competence can be learned, and you guys can clearly see that from my results from my change project. I learned how to change my listening habits in a short 8 weeks, and it will affect me for the rest of my life. I learned how to be an effective communicator just like anyone can through practice and staying committed to the plan. My favorite part of this class has to be that all the major themes tie into each other, and there's never going to be an ideal way to communicate. One type of communication that works in a particular situation may not in another situation. Like I would never talk to you guys how I talk to my friends. Being a competent communicator requires flexibility. I wouldn't say fuck, shit, asshole, or stuff like that around you guys. Oh, I'm sorry, pardon my French. Dad, I know you love to be a funny guy, and Mom, I know you're trying to be more serious and straightforward, but there's no ideal way to communicate. That's the beauty of it. As long as you guys know the situations and the different relationships to the user communication skills, then you're going to be good. For example, you obviously don't want to be funny in an important business conference, Dad. Knowing the different times to communicate it makes it that much easier. Having multiple behaviors is key to being a good communicator. It's actually one of the most important things. I've learned that having this range of behaviors and being able to choose which behavior you want to communicate at any given time is actually essential, because one response that works well in one setting may not in another, just as I was saying with that important business conference meeting. People have the best chance of developing an effective message when they understand the other person's point of view. Sorry guys, this is coming from the textbook. Let me explain this simpler. Basically, if you really want to get your point across to someone, it's best to know what their view on the subject is. Using a variety of perspectives to understand people is very important, because obviously different people have different views. Using the skill could help you communicate with a diverse group of people. Remember all those homework assignments I was telling you about from that Berkeley Science? Well, there's one chapter, and it really related well to what I'm talking about right now. It was a chapter on social connection, and specifically the science of empathy. The author talks about the important characteristics of empathetic people, and one of those characteristics is to try another person's life, just like we were talking about. The author of that section refers to the Native American proverb that really spoke to me. Walk a mile in another man's moccasins before you criticize him. Of course, not everyone owns a pair of moccasins, but you guys catch my drift. It's easier to talk about living someone else's life than to actually try it, and this helps us understand people better, as well as provides information to make strategies on how to best influence them, and which of our wide range of abilities to use. Wow, where's the time gone? You guys are probably asking yourself, oh, is this kid almost done? I got stuff to do. But I really hope you guys gained a lot from this presentation. I hope you guys see me as a better listener, and most importantly, anyone can learn to be a competent communicator through your own thoughts and knowing that failure is part of life, and most importantly, shit happens. Thank you very much.